Who are you when the lights go off, when it's dark out and the sun don't shine? If you could make a wish on 1,000 stars, how long do you think it would take you to get everything you want? Do you chase your dreams in the daytime, or are you too afraid of your own shadow? I wonder if you know what the calm before the storm really feels like. When the sky turns gray, it thunders and shakes the foundation, leaving cracks in the seams of reality, shooting lightning from the ground. Just in case you were about to lose your mind, I picked a pocket full of dandelions for you to make a wish. I forgot. They dispersed from the first brush of wind. Blame it on sober thoughts with the drunken pen. Staring through the looking glass of misery, can you see clearly? Can you see what your worth is? Do you know what real work is? Removing internal pressures and going with your gut, moving through fear and releasing the ego. That's how you get your confidence back.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How you guys doing? I think that was a nice poem by a woman named Ariana Iverson. It's about clarity. And that ties into what we're going to be talking about today, real quick. Shouldn't be a long live, maybe like 40 minutes. Matter of fact, not even like 30 minutes, to be honest. Hey, Cutting Edge, how are you? I hope you had a good day today so far. All right, so let's just get right into it. Like the title says, this is the season of straightening. Y'all know what I mean when I say this is a season of straightening. Hmm. Cutting edge. When you hear a season of straightening, what do you think that might mean? If you're still in here and if you're able to type, what do you think it means when I say this is a season of straightening? Hello to anybody else that might have joined. It's in the clouds. Good afternoon. Hey, Carlos. Good afternoon. How about them Eagles? I hope everybody's having a good day. But let me not lollygag since I don't have too much time. Just get right into it. It means get your hot combs out. That's funny. No, no, silly. But I mean, shoot, if that's what somebody needs to do to make them feel better about what they got going on, go ahead and straighten that hair if you want to. Some people have stick behind hair. I said, how about they got lucky? Not necessarily. Let me get into it. Let me get into it. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. I think with StreamYard it doesn't give me the same issue that YouTube does when I click off of it to open up another window that I have open. So anyway, it just means that it's a period of self-improvement for you to take this time, however long it takes, but to dedicate yourself to this, taking this time to address certain issues that you've been tiptoeing around, that's been bothering you, but you need to address them head on, making whatever positive changes in your life you need to make. Because we all know what we have going on, even if we don't share it with other people. We know what we have going on. What else? Yeah, making positive changes to bring order and clarity. And all clarity means is like you're able to see things clearer when you just sit and think about it. Not when you're in the thick of your emotions and the thick of everything that's going on, but when you're able to just sit and reflect and really think about stuff, you're able to see things way clearer. So for this season, there's plenty of things that need to be done. First thing, which this may apply to some, it may not apply, but decluttering and organizing. Decluttering and organizing. Tidying up your physical space can help reduce stress and improve focus. Or even if it's just time to switch your stuff around. If you already had your stuff already set a certain way and you want to reorganize it and move things around, that's nothing wrong with that. Getting rid of stuff that you just been holding on to that you don't need, throw it away or give it away. Get it out of there. If you need to clean or do better with cleaning your stuff, your house, whether it's your house, your car, your workspace, that applies too. That definitely applies. I know some people, their cars be looking like crap. A house be looking like crap. So you might need to set aside a set amount of time and space to just get your house in order, like completely get it in order. Like I said, if you have stuff that needs to be thrown away, throw it away. You know what I'm saying? Put stuff where it's supposed to go. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Those of you that know what I'm talking about, get your stuff in order. Get your house in order. Get your cars in order. If you're not able to just park your car in your parking spot or in front of your house, whatever the case may be, and get to it, take it to the car wash. Get it clean. Get it all out of there. He says, Kanye said, I've been doing that funny enough. I got too much stuff. Ew, gotta clean. Yeah, you have to. And it doesn't matter how tired you are or whatever the case may be. And if you are consistent with it and keeping up with everything you're supposed to keep up with, there's nothing major for you to have to do because everything is already taken care of and you're keeping up with it. If you have kids, make them do their chores. If you have a spouse or a partner, make them help you. It doesn't have to just be all on you. Now, if you're by yourself, then it really shouldn't be much to have to clean anyway. Let's get it together, you know? Yeah. Yep. Let's get it together. You know what I mean? Because your house is like your house is your kingdom. That's the one place that you should feel at peace for sure. Complete solace. And one of the biggest ways to make sure that happens is you have to clean your house and keep your house clean. I don't care what you gotta do. If you gotta set an old school cleaning chart, whatever the case may be, just do it. And it doesn't mean that everything has to be done all in one swoop in one day. That's your business. But this is the season of straightening. Get your house in order and keep your house in order. All right. Okay. So we went over that one. Let's see what else. I like this topic. Because if not now, then when? Now, if you don't have any of these issues, then that's a blessing. You ain't got to worry about it. But if you do, and you know you do, this is the time to take care of our business. All right, the second one says setting goals, establishing clear, manageable goals, and breaking them into smaller steps can help you build new, lasting habits. Okay, I like that. Do any of you guys have any goals that you set for yourself? I'll read it again. Setting goals, establishing clear, manageable goals. Like you want to have realistic goals set for yourself and breaking them into smaller steps can help you build new, lasting habits. You have many goals. So how do you go about um, accomplishing those goals that you have set? Well, that's a blessing. Okay, then don't do it. We're just having a broad conversation. You don't gotta go deep. But yeah, if you have any goals that you've set for yourself and you know that you haven't been, not you, Kainej, I'm just talking in general, and you know that you haven't been actively working on them or towards them, time is now. The time is now, whatever those goals are. And if you don't have any goals set for yourself, the time is now to sit and really think about it. Think about if you have anything that you would like to accomplish, if you have any goals that you would like to set for yourself, and then set them. I forget where I heard this saying, um, but it's on paper on purpose. And the gist I got from it was when you write down things on paper, 9 times out of 10, you're more likely to accomplish those things that you write on paper than if you was just to say it in your mind, just regular out loud. And then you put that paper somewhere that's visible to you daily, whether that's you put it on your fridge, whatever the case may be, by your bed, whatever. That way, every day you can see what you wrote down. But I'm driven naturally, but also purpose, because let's say that I've learned 3 people's lives, if that makes sense. I guess for you, because you said you lived 3 people's life, it makes sense, especially for you because you said that you did a lot of traveling and experienced different stuff in your life, whether that's because of a job or whatever the case may be. But I remember you said that you've have had some journeys. And that's good that you're naturally driven. So a lot of people aren't. So yeah, if you have goals set, the time is now to work actively towards them. And you might need to revisit your goals and make sure that they're realistic goals for your life and your lifestyle. And not to say that there's goals that that are not quote unquote realistic, that cannot be achieved. It really just depends on what you would, on your life and your lifestyle and those goals you set. But actively work towards them, not all at once. Like they said, break it down. But if you're not already actively working towards meeting your goals, the time is now. And if you don't have any goals set, the time is now to sit and reflect and think about that. If there's any goals that you would like to set or need to set, because some goals are not just goals that we want to set, it's goals that need to be set because certain things need to be done, certain changes need to happen in order to be the best you and the most productive you. B, I'm also the one with the force itself. I see vision through it and what may come. Well, there you go. That's a gift. All jokes aside, because life doesn't come with no crystal ball. And a lot of it is just figuring it out. And a lot of it is just using your discernment and your common sense. Like not you, but just in general. To know what not to do and what to do, and so on. All right, the next one is improving your health. This is a major, if not most important one. Improving your health, focusing on physical and mental well-being through balanced meals, exercise, and good sleep. Boost your mood, boost your energy and your mood. That's very important. Very important. I know myself, I don't get enough sleep at all. And that's not nobody's fault but my own. Improving your health, focusing on physical and mental well-being through balanced meals, exercise, and good sleep. Boost your energy and mood. It's very important. I don't work out, but I do a lot of walking and a lot of moving around. So I feel like even if you are a smaller person or you're not overweight, exercise is very important. Now, the type of exercise someone who might be on the smaller side would need to do may vary from somebody who's on a larger side or who is medically overweight and really needs to just lose weight, not for no vanity reasons, but because of their health. But it's still very important to get some form of exercise on a daily, whether that's just walking, bike riding, whatever you need to do or you enjoy doing. So you definitely need to get your body moving. I personally want to work on waking up earlier so that way I could like really stretch good and get a nice walk in before I even go to work. And also meditate. But in order for me to do that before I go to work, I have to start getting up way earlier. So I found so many different types of ways to meditate. I love guided meditation. I love listening to it and just taking myself out of a box that I would normally put myself in, like, oh, this is bull crap, this ain't gonna work, blah, blah, blah. And just completely opening myself up to receiving it. So that's the only way stuff like that will be able to work for you is if you take yourself out of a box. If you already put yourself in a box of, oh, this is not gonna work, blah, 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 and just doing it. So I enjoy doing it, but I really want to start doing it at the top of my day. He said, I've learned many teachings and I'm just wired different. For instance, I lived as a monk in foothills out east. That is where I became the force itself in some aspects. I believe it because if I'm not mistaken, they take, I don't know if they call it meditating, but they take meditating very seriously. And I bet you that was just so peaceful. I bet you that was very peaceful. So yeah, I want to work on meditating at the top of my day. I already meditate at the end of my day. I enjoy doing the shower meditation. So relaxing. Especially, like I said, when you just open yourself up to it and you don't put yourself in a box. Um, as far as the eating healthy, I have to start eating healthier. I'm so childish. It's ridiculous. I do not like vegetables. And so it's focused on physical and mental well-being through balanced meals, exercise, and good sleep boost your energy and mood. There's only a couple types of vegetables that I like. I've always been that way. And it's terrible, but it's true. But I also want to start taking multivitamins because I don't take any. But I would like to, especially since I don't like eating certain vegetables that I know are good for me. But they do say what you put in your body is how you're going to feel. I forget exactly how the saying goes, but basically, like what you put in your body is what you're gonna feel like. So if you're just eating a bunch of junk, now, I don't eat a bunch of junk because I cook, but I do when I feel like it. But if that's all you eat, yeah, it probably does make you feel a certain way. Whether that's like you know, lethargic or just dragging throughout the day, whatever the case may be. But I've spoken to people who, after they changed up their diet, okay, go ahead, do your thing. I understand. Um, I've spoken to people who, after they changed up their diet, they felt like the way their body felt. I can't really say they're mental because I didn't pick their brain about that. Maybe I should have. But dang, what the heck was that? Sorry, y'all. But the way their body felt, it was just such a change. Whether that's they stopped drinking soda or they stopped drinking juice or they limit the amount of alcohol they drink. They definitely said that there was a change of how they felt. And I think that that's the same thing for people who do fasting. I'm not really too well read on fasting because I don't need to fast. I need to eat more actually. But I know fasting is good for your body and your mind too. I've, I know people who have done intermediate fasting, which is what I would probably suggest to anybody more so than just straight up fasting now. For depending on your religion, if I'm not mistaken, there's a period, a time in the year where there is a fasting of sorts that happens, but that's more so of a religious thing. But as far as just trying to be healthier, especially if you do um, need or if you would like to cut down on your weight, that can't hurt to try. And obviously, like anything new you try, that requires change. It might be a little difficult at first, but then you'll get accustomed to it. And as far as how long you choose to do it, that's your business. But I've spoken to people who done the intermediate fasting, and what did they say? They said they didn't eat anything past. Sorry, I was a bee. They didn't eat anything past a certain time in the evening, and then they also didn't eat anything before a certain time in the morning. So there would be that gap in time that they wasn't eating anything. Or however which way you want to do it. Like say if, okay, you cut your eating and your drinking besides from water off at like whatever a decent time would be. Because really a lot of us eat dinner way too late anyway, especially if you're going to just let it sit on your stomach and you're not going to go and take a walk or something to help aid the digestion process. But I don't know what would be a good time to cut it off, like maybe 6, 7, you know what I mean? And then after 6 or 7, this is just example, you don't eat anything or drink anything else besides from water. So obviously you want to make sure that you eat a good healthy meal, you know, that's going to leave you content. Um, and then you don't eat anything before maybe 11 o'clock in the morning or something like that. That helps people. It just depends. It can get tricky, but if you know you have an issue with eating and your weight, that could help. Same with different detox waters they have that you can make, and you know what you're putting into it. What else? So we went over the meals, we went over the exercise. And like I said, even if you're somebody like myself who's on the smaller size, don't get it twisted and think that you don't need to move that body because you do. You may not have to do as much as others, but you still need to get that body moving. Let's see. And with the sleep, that's self-explanatory. Go to bed earlier, especially if you wake up early. Try to go to bed a little earlier. 9 times out of 10, you're not missing out on anything. I know a lot of the times, especially when you work all day, we get it wired in our minds that we missed out on something while we were at work or while throughout our day, whatever the case may be. So then instead of going to sleep at a decent time, now you're just up lollygagging. And 9 times out of 10, whatever it is you're doing is not something that's important that needs to be done or watched or looked at or talked about in that moment. Whatever it is you do when you're up, when you should be sleeping. What else? If you get up in the middle of the night for whatever reason to go pee, sorry to say it like that, or to use the bathroom, just use the bathroom and take your butt back to sleep. Don't get up to use the bathroom and feel the need to be checking your phone, seeing what's going on, or whatever device. It's not necessary. You don't need to do that. It's still going to be there when you get up and get your day started. Which in reality, what's in our phone should be the last thing we worry about when we wake up to get our day started, except for the alarm, or unless if it's an important call or message. Um, what else? What else? Good afternoon, Keystone. Yeah, we need to get more sleep. Those of us that need to get more sleep, we need to get more sleep. Okay? If you happen to get woken up out your sleep for whatever, sometimes we just wake up. But if you look at your alarm and you realize it didn't go off yet, go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. Unless you notice you only got about like 5 minutes left on your time, then it's like, okay, I understand. But if you know you still have 30 minutes or more before your alarm go off, but you happen to wake up for whatever reason before then, go back to sleep. 'Cause I know that's happened to me. I've woken up naturally or had to use the bathroom, whatever the case may be. Windows open, people might be outside noise, whatever the case may be. And instead of just going back to sleep because I had a decent amount of time left on my timer, now I'm up. You know what I'm saying? For what? Cutting myself short. That don't make no sense. So we went through all of that. And just for anybody that may just be coming in, like the title says, this is the season of straightening. We're going over different things that can help us make positive changes in our life in order to bring clarity and order, because sometimes our stuff is just out of whack. Okay? Um, Ending toxic habits and relationships. Ending toxic habits and relationships. This involves identifying and removing negative influences and activities that are holding you back. Ending toxic habits and relationships. This involves identifying and removing negative influences and activities that are holding you back. We don't want to hold ourselves back. And we want to put the onus on ourselves. We don't really want to say that somebody else is holding us back because we're trying to be great. So you want to take responsibility for yourself, number one. But I understand how outside things and people can sway certain things or be distractions from what it is you are trying to do. So, for example, if you're somebody that's trying to quit smoking or drinking alcohol, and you hang around people that smoke and drink alcohol, something's going to have to give, right? Unless you just naturally have that willpower to be able to be around those people. If you're somebody that wants to stop drinking or smoking, right? Unless you have that willpower to be able to be around that and not engage in that, you might need to limit your interactions with them, people, you know what I mean? Especially if you told them, hey, I'm trying to quit smoking, quit drinking, whoop-de-woo. I can't really be around y'all if y'all are doing that because that's counterproductive to what I'm trying to do. Now, some people will respect that and don't do it around you and just maybe pregame before they know that you're about to come. Some people feel like that's not their issue and they're not about to switch up how they get down for you. And if it's the latter, then you have to say, okay, I dig it, but you're gonna have to dig that I'm not really about to be around you like that. At least not until I get to the point where I will be able to, and it doesn't make me feel like I want to go backwards. But for some people, they don't be beat for being around people that do stuff like that because they don't want to do stuff like that. And it's understandable, you know, because it's counterproductive to what you're trying to do. And if somebody really cares about you and they're your friend, your people's whatever, they'll respect that. And like I said, just pregame before you come, or step away, whatever, but they won't openly do it in your face. But you also going to have the discernment to know if they do, you're going to have to step off and think about what the bigger picture is for you. And that's just an example of smoking and drinking. That could just mean anything. You know what I mean? If you're somebody who is trying to sway their life more towards God, there's going to be some trials and tribulations that come with that, because you might have friends or family members who are not on that same walk with you. So no, they don't need to tiptoe around you just because you decided that you want to sway your life towards God. But certain things need to be respected, you know? Like I cuss a lot. I'm actively working on that, but I do cuss a lot. But if I'm talking to somebody who I know that's not how they get down, whether it's a religious reason, whatever, I really try to not even cuss when I'm talking to them, or at least limit it. But there's some people that don't try at all because they don't have no respect for other people's boundaries, and that's not good. But say if that was your situation and somebody's not respecting your boundaries, you got the right to say, if you're not going to respect my boundaries, I still love you, still care about you, you're still my peoples, but I'm not really going to be engaging with you like that. Same way, if you're trying to be more positive and live a more positive life to the best of your ability, and you know somebody who is a super Debbie Downer or Daniel Downer, and it's like all the time, every time you talk to them, it's negative, it's something wrong. It's okay to say to them, like, yo, you might need to go get a therapist because this is a lot. And maybe not say it like that, however, which way, you know? This is the season of straightening, and it can't involve tiptoeing around stuff, beating around bushes. Ew. Skating on ice for folks. Some things, like I said in one of my other lives, you just need to nip it in the bud early in the game and just let it be known what type of time you want. And then people have decisions. They either want to respect that and move accordingly when they're moving around you, or with you, or they're gonna be on the outside looking in. Some people you just have to love from a distance. That's a fact. Practicing mindfulness is the next one. Practicing mindfulness. Taking time to meditate or journal can help you reconnect with yourself and find clarity. I love that. I need to get me a journal because, yeah, I can download a journal app or whatever have you on my phone. But like I said, on paper, on purpose. I really believe that. So me personally, I do need to buy myself a journal. I actually need to buy two separate ones. One for me to just regular journal, and then the other one for me to write my poems in. Taking time to meditate or journaling or journal. Yeah, so that for me, that's two marks that hit the spot. Because like I said, I've recently have gotten into meditating, but I more so like to do guided meditation. Um, and I found so many different types. I found walking ones for when you're walking. I found ones for when you're in the shower. Found ones for when you're just sitting still. I found ones to listen to while you're working. I've been on the hunt. I'm taking this season literally and figuratively. I'm not playing. And I would suggest that y'all don't play about you either. So yeah, think about it. Getting into journaling. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you know. And to be honest, nobody has to know unless you tell them. That's your business. But you should definitely get into journaling because, like I said, I believe on paper, on purpose. And if you haven't tried meditating, like I said, there's so many different types out there. It can't hurt. Not to say it would be the thing for you, but it can't hurt giving it a try, in my opinion. But that's your business. And then the last one, setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. Taking, my bad. Learning to say no to things that don't align with your goals and protecting your time and energy. Because those are two things that you can't get back at all. You definitely can't get back none of your time. And though you can do things to replenish your energy, you can't get the energy back that you already done put out towards something that could have been put, that you could have put towards something else that's more positive. So I like that. Learning, setting boundaries, learning to say no to things that don't align with your goals and protecting your time and energy. That's very important. The hell? Sorry, guys, this spider is, that's a shame. Now you're going. Do any of you guys have a problem with setting boundaries and then sticking to them boundaries? V, be open to the unexpected. I'll say, as come to realize it can be a good thing, depending. Yeah, that's why I don't believe in putting yourself in a box, but you just have to use your discernment. You just have to use your discernment. That's all. But like I said, if you have set goals and a set way of living you want to live, set your boundaries and stick to them, and don't let nobody sway you from that. Can y'all hear me? I think you can. Yeah, don't let nobody sway you from that. I don't care what it is. If you're the type of person that don't want people wearing shoes in your house, guess what? If you're gonna come over here, you're gonna take your shoes off. So I suggest you make sure you have some clean socks on. If you worry about embarrassment or something, I don't know what to tell you. Because a lot of people don't even realize how many germs you drag in on your shoes from outside. But that's a whole other conversation. And that's just simple boundary I'm talking about. If you're the type of person that don't allow smoking in your car, but you know people that smoke, don't let them smoke in your car. I wouldn't care if you do smoke, but you don't want smoking in your car. Whatever the case may be, whatever your boundaries you have, and you know they're not unrealistic ones, set them and stick to it. Because, like I said, the goal is to be great. I don't like ooh people. Full stop. The goal is to be great. Be the best you that you can be. So I don't know if any of these things I talked about apply to anybody that's going to hear this. I know there's some things that apply to me. And we're in a season of straightening. So sort out what you need to sort out and do what you need to do. Because otherwise, you're not going to get nothing straight. Ain't nothing going to be straight for you if you don't do what you need to do. But that's your business. Either way, I hope everybody has a good day, a good rest of your day. I'm out of here. Bye.